What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day and happy New Year's. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday 2025, and I hope your current 2026 new year is going great. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much for all the continued love and support you showed me in 25, and hopefully in 26 we can top that. It was an amazing year, another successful, wholesome year, and I have great things in store for 2026. Already about halfway through January. It is currently January 15th, I believe, and already have been as busy as ever. I have 3 details I've already knocked out this month, and in this video we're going to be doing some mechanic work on a client's car, but I'm trying to get back in the groove of content creating, and what better way to do that than to film some installs on a friend's BMW. But you already know what's good. Mark 2 is looking good. Skyline is looking and running amazing. We have some good news for the Mark 2. Last year, we tried to fully tune this thing, but my wideband controller was broken, and good news on that, the unit was proven faulty from factory, so Haltech is currently sending me a brand new wideband 1 controller, so hopefully that's in within the next couple of weeks, and we can fully tune this thing at high RPM. And you guys already know the plans for the Mark II. Full respray, build another 700 horsepower motor, and rock the interior. I'm thinking to do something a little bit crazy for me, and that is to do a full red interior. I mean, we've already got the red shift knob. I'm gonna get some new red checkered floor mats, but I'm thinking about getting some red Brid Lomax seats. And then of course, get this thing loaded up with a nice C-pillar bar. But let me know what you think about that. It might be a little bit too much red, but I think we can execute that perfectly. And then, you know, plans for the Skyline this year, it's already near perfect. Just need to still wire in my GPS unit so we can have a functioning tach reading on the Haltech UC10. But other than that, I just want to enjoy this car now that I got the clutch dialed in and situated. It makes it so much easier to drive, and I really want to take this thing to drift events and shows this year. And for this year, other than nearly completing the Mark II, I am currently remodeling my house. So my house over car content is actually my top priority, but want to document and create as much as I possibly can this year. And also some skills I want to learn this year are welding and painting. I've been detailing cars since 2017, and I would like to think I've pretty much perfected my craft on the exterior of detailing. So why not buy a nice compressor, a nice air gun, and learn how to paint myself. It'll definitely be so much more rewarding painting the Mark II myself, and of course having that skill underneath my belt as well. And like I mentioned, I think in the last video or so, the plans to paint the Mark II are either the Mazda CX-5 metallic lava pearlescent red, or just keep this thing pearl white with some nice red pearls in it. Everything would just accent very nicely, but I am torn between the two, so let me know what you all think in the comments below. And also everybody, let me know what you want to see on the channel in the comments below. Do you want to see some more POV driving footage, me actually drifting my car's footage, just leaving the house more and going to meets, which I actually really should. I am kind of a homebody. I do work a lot, but I think getting out more will help me internally and mentally. But again, let me know what you want to see below. Again, have a lot of plans for this year. It's just a matter of executing everything precisely and of course staying on top of the business. But I'm currently just waiting on my friend right now to bring over his BMW. We're going to be doing a coilover install as well as installing some new brake pads for him. He lives in an apartment, and I believe they're pretty finicky about working on cars at the complex. So if I can help a homie and earn some extra cash, by all means, I'm gonna take advantage of it. So just waiting on that, and if we get done at a reasonable time, I wanna go ahead and take out the Skyline. I messed around more with the rear fitment. I took out some toe that I eyeballed, and again, 0 camber on a 255/35. This thing hooked before, but now I want to see the actual potential this RB25 Neo has. All right, the boy Tyree just dropped off his October 2013 328i. Though I'm not very versed in the European world, I have worked on a handful of European cars. But from videos, this should be pretty straightforward. I mean, coilovers honestly are pretty universal. He went with a set of Bilsteins. Here's the part number. And I believe he purchased these off of FPC Euro. And we're also doing a front and rear brake pad job as well. Tyree is very new to the car scene, so you know I'm gonna treat him right, take care of him. I asked him how low he wants his BMW, and he said sporty, so we're gonna give him something sporty. He does daily drive this car to work on the highway, so we'll essentially play around with fitment. I believe the front and rears go between 25 and 50 millimeters, so a good inch to 2 inches. But I'm thinking with this current wheel and tire setup, I think we should get the front or the bottom of the guard to the top of the tire, and that should give him a nice stance. But right now I'm gonna go ahead and throw these on the quick jacks since I have them, and this is a stock ride-height car. Will make things significantly easier. Pop the wheels off. I'm thinking we do the brake pads first, since that's probably the easiest, and then we'll again disassemble the front and rear shocks. And I know this is a coil-on bucket setup in the rear. We'll go ahead and throw on the new coilovers, see where it sits, and then adjust accordingly. All right, got the F30 up in the air on the quick jacks. Definitely worth the investment for long-term projects, but just overlooking how the suspension is set up, because again, European cars are a little bit foreign to me. But it looks like we got 3 nuts and bolts for this upper top hat / plate. We got that and a locking nut. I went ahead and PP blasted all the bolts. And then I also remember too that BMW uses like specialty tools, but a lot of my metric and SAE tools will accommodate for like said bolts. On the struts, we got this end link, which I already released. Then we got a bolt down here, which again is pretty universal in the car world. Moving on to the rear bucket spring assembly, adjustment bolts. We got a bolt for the shock there, and then 3 bolts holding up the assembly there. So this should be pretty straightforward. Again, just going to watch a couple of videos because it's still very foreign to me, but a job we can definitely get done. All right, just went ahead and got 1 shock out. What I went ahead and did was removed half of the under panel, so I had adequate clearance to the bolts to the caster and thrust arm. Just went ahead and loosened those quite a bit to release any bushing tension. Then suspended the knuckle assembly with a jack, and then with a pry bar, just opened this up, wiggled the knuckle down, and pop came out the shock, which was pretty easy. Now we're going to take a 6mm Allen for the center here and an 18mm pass-through to remove this upper plate. And I'm assuming this just goes ahead and bolts onto the new coilover over there. And just like that, the Bilstein coilovers are in. Went ahead and just max lowered the perch here. It's the directions description said anywhere between 25 and 50 mils, so this should be a good 1.5 to 2 inches. Before I throw the wheel back on, I'm gonna clean this up here with some tough stuff, make it all nice before we slap the wheel back on. Everything's torqued to spec, the end link, the caster arm, the thrust arm there. All the sensors are where they should be. All the upper top hat bolts are good. And then again, for this top hat here onto the new coilover body, I just went ahead and zipped it down with an impact until it stopped moving. And this side came out good as well. Everything is all matched up. Pretty self-explanatory. So I'm gonna go ahead now, clean the spring, throw the wheel back on, see where it sits, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the rear. I'll just knock out the caliper pads real quick, and then take off this under panel. It gives us access to these 2 bolts here for the shock absorber and the bucket. Pop the spring out, pop the shock out with those 3 bolts on top, throw the Bilsteins in, and I'm just gonna max lower those 2, see where it sits, and I can go ahead and give the car back to Tyree. All right, BMW back on the ground. Definitely a noticeable difference. I wish I took a before and after. I'm sure you can capture it on the video, but I mean, definitely is lower, significantly. I mean, personally not as low as I would go. I would put this arch like in between the tire lines there, but for the customer's daily driving and being new to the scene, I think this is honestly perfect. And you can tell by the rear, I mean, how much gap there is compared to the front. But that's good, guys. I'm really enjoying this, and Tyree likes it as well. So I mean, gonna go ahead then and torque these bolts down to spec. I have to research the torque specs on these because they are studded, not lug nutted. And then now we can go ahead and knock out the rear. Should be pretty easy. All right, just got done with the rear passenger side. Came out good, everything torqued to spec. Essentially what I did was use a jack to hold in place the spring bucket there, and then I did these 2 bolts here. It's going to be an 18, and this is going to be a 21 millimeter. Just be careful when lowering this because it is going to shoot out. And then I also went ahead and loosened the nut there for the, I guess that's considered toe? No, this is toe. So this is considered camber. Loosen that to get some tension off the bushing. Don't forget to tighten that up. I actually need to do that right now. But lowered it a considerable amount. Hopefully this sits even with the front or a little bit lower. And then these 2 up here were a spline 10 millimeter. I don't know, I think it's like size E. But please correct me if I'm wrong. I really don't know BMW hardware titles, names, but it's looking good. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and knock out the driver's side. And once that's good and I see where it sits and we're content with that, we'll go ahead and rock the brakes. All right, F30 back on the ground. Of course, the fronts look good. Looking at the rear, it's definitely lower, but honestly not really where I personally want it to be. We have about 1 inch of thread left and a whole fist of wheel gap, which we cannot have. It's giving that front rake, which I think most BMWs have, but we'll go ahead and adjust that maxed out. And of course, it's gonna lower a little bit more as the shocks and springs get worked into. Moving to the driver's side, again, lower, but we got a fist of gap. So let me go ahead and readjust those real quick, and it should be sitting very pretty. All right, officially done with the suspension. I just maxed out again with the rear, and it did quite a bit. We got like a pinky and a ring finger out, but it's good. Still has that classic BMW front rake. But again, this is perfect for daily driving for him. Then moving on to the passenger side. Cool, looking good. So now, tomorrow, I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the rear brakes. We'll take this thing around the block, make sure we don't have any weird noises or any issues with the coilovers, but these should ride significantly better since the OEM suspension was completely shot. All right, just got done with the rear brake pads on the F30. Went ahead and wire wheeled and lubricated all the hardware. The old pads had a decent amount of life on them, honestly, but getting them replaced with the new year is some good peace of mind. So right now, just gonna take the F30 around the block, make sure everything checks out, then go pick up Tyree and see his reaction with the BMW. I mean, it's not that much lower. The front only goes up to like 40 mils and the rear only goes up to 30 mil lower, but it's noticeable. But you know, for me, and I'm sure for all of you, we would have been definitely tucking tire. But once we get this all situated and the garage cleaned up, we'll go ahead and rip around in the Skyline. All right, F30 riding and feeling really good. Nice, stiff and responsive suspension, brakes work, and now coming outside, definitely looks a lot sportier. I'm gonna go ahead and triple check all the torque specs on the wheel studs and should be good to go after that. All right, everybody, hope that looks good. On a really positive note, I can now leave my driveway without taking off my kit, so super stoked about that. After this cruise, we'll go ahead and probably hard mount the side skirts, honestly. Pull up my GPS app to let us know how fast we're going. So we're not going to do anything crazy, honestly, because it is 2:30 midday and I don't want to risk anything right now. I also need alignment pretty bad. Still spinning 255 35s with zero camber, and I smell tired. Back home safe and sound. Skyline's running amazing. I apologize in advance if the GoPro footage isn't the best. I got some notifications that it was bugging out, so hopefully we got some good footage, but I cannot emphasize this enough. A very good motor, a very good car, incredibly stoked. Cannot wait to do this exact same thing with the Mark II, either this year or next year. But again, we have a lot of plans for this year and just need to keep myself busy so I can execute everything flawlessly. But on that note, everybody, thank you so much for the continued love and support. And if you're new to the channel too, want to subscribe on, it'd be awesome. And remember, aim high, drive low. I'll catch you next video. Take care.